Pirmasens is an independent town in Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany, near the border with France. It is famous for the manufacture of shoes. The surrounding rural district was called Landkreis Pirmasens from 1818 until 1997, when it was renamed the Südwestpfalz. History. Early years. The first mention of Pirmasens, a colony of Hornbach Abbey, dates from 860. The name derives from Saint Pirmasens, the founder of the cloister. During the period it was under rule of the bishopric of Metz. It was passed to Diocese of Speyer in last quarter of 11th century before capturing by County of Saarbrücken in 1100. In 1182, County of Saarbrücken was divided by Simon II and Henry I, were sons of Simon I. Pirmasens was given to latter and Henry I's dominion was named as County of Zweibrücken. He built Lemberg Castle for protecting his dominion in 1198. During the period Pirmasens was formal jurisdiction in Bishop of Metz, but parish administration of Pirmasens was passed to Monastery of Hornbach after confirmation of John, Bishop of Metz in 1225. In 1297, County of Zweibrücken was divided and Pirmasens was passed to County of Zweibrücken-Bitch, Eberhard I's dominion. He traded some localities with Duke Frederick III of Lorraine and took lordship of Bitch at same year. In this period village of Pirmasens was part of Reichsam of Lemberg. In 1525, during German Peasants' War, Pirmasens was looted by peasants of Bitch. In 1560, Ludovica Margaretha of Zweibrücken-Bitch was daughter of Count James of Zweibrücken-Bitch, was the last male member of the House of Zweibrücken, was married of Philip V, Count of Hanau-Lichtenberg. In 1570, County of James of Zweibrücken-Bitch died without male heir and Countess Ludovica Margaretha inherited the County of Bitch, the lordship of Ochsenstein and half the lordship of Lichtenberg. James's older brother, Simon V. Wecker, had already died in 1540, also without a male heir. A dispute about the inheritance erupted between the husbands of Ludovica Margaretha and her cousin Amalia, Philip V of Hanau-Lichtenberg and Philip I of Leiningen-Westerberg, respectively. Formerly, the County of Bitch and District of Lemberg were fiefs of the Duchy of Lorraine, and such fiefs could only be inherited in the male line. Philip V was initially successful in the dispute with Philip I about Zweibrücken-Bitch. However, he introduced the Lutheran confession in his newly gained territories in 1572. This made the powerful and Catholic Duke of Lorraine unhappy. The Duke terminated the fief in July 1572. Lorraine troops occupied the county. Since Philip V's army was no match for Lorraine, he took his case to the Imperial Chamber Court in Speyer. During the trial, Lorraine argued that, firstly, a significant part of the territory of Zweibrücken-Bitch had been obtained in an exchange with Lorraine in 1302 and, secondly, the Counts of Leiningen had sold the hereditary claims to Lorraine in 1573. In 1604, Hanau-Lichtenberg and Lorraine decided to settle out of court. In a treaty signed in 1606, it was agreed that Bitch would revert to Lorraine and Hanau-Lichtenberg would retain Lemberg. This was reasonable, as it corresponded approximately to the religious realities of the territories. Thus, Pirmasens was part of County of Hanau-Lichtenberg. Before the 30 Years' War, Pirmasens were 59 families and about 235 inhabitants resident, whereas in Lemberg were counted 54 families. When counting is assumed that at the time there was a family of 4 to 5 people. In 1622, Pirmasens and Lemberg were ravaged by Spaniards and Croatian horsemen of the imperial troops. The imperial army, the village had partially set on fire. Even the church was destroyed in a fire. After the withdrawal of the troops, Pirmasens began to rebuild it. It was again ravaged by imperial troops under Matthias Gallas. They also looted Lemberg Castle, which was burned in 1636. Then the headquarters of the Lutheran parish of Lemberg was moved to Pirmasens, but it was heavily damaged in it. In 1657, only 9 families lived in it. However, the population increased by immigration. Reformed Swiss Catholic Tyrolean and families from Franconia and Württemberg slowly, so that in 1661 in Pirmasens 21 families were counted. However, during Franco-Dutch War, Louis XIV sent troops to the Palatinate under his Marshal Turenne for relieve fortress of Landau and reinforce imperial ones. In 1677 Pirmasens was occupied and burned. It was under French rule until 1679. In 1691, only 16 people lived in village of Pirmasens. During the 9 Years' War, it was sacked by French troops under General Ezekiel Emiacute Lac, who devastated the Palatinate in 1689. At the same time, the Lemberg Castle was still habitable after the destruction of the 30 Years' War, completely destroyed. Thus, administrative center of Reichsam Lemberg was moved to Pirmasens in 1697. So, Pirmasens elevated to town status. In 1736, Johann Reinhard III, who last Count of Hanau-Lichtenberg, died without male heir and the duchy was passed to Landgrave Ludwig IX of Hesse-Darmstadt, who was son of Countess Charlotte of Hanau-Lichtenberg, sole heir of County of Hanau-Lichtenberg, and Ludwig VIII, Landgrave of Hesse-Darmstadt. In 1763, Pirmasens is chartered by Landgrave Ludwig IX. In 1793 it was the location of the Battle of Pirmasens between Prussia and Braunschweig against the French Corps of the Vosges. The French lost the battle, but their opponents' divisions nevertheless enabled them to return and occupy Pirmasens by the end of the year. Between 1798 and 1814, the town was included in the French département of Montauban. After the French defeat, it was bounded to Rhineland-Palatinate of Bavaria. 20th century 1923 24 tests of Palatinate separatists to settle down in Pirmasens failed on 12 February 1924. Occupation of the district town hall, home of the separatist administration. Many deaths on both sides. The 9th of November 1938 destruction of the synagogue during the Kristallnacht. On the 15th of March 1945 Pirmasens was captured by U.S. troops, and the following year it became part of the newly founded Bundesland Rhineland-Palatinate. During the occupation on Sept. 19 the Museum of Pirmasens announced that about 50 paintings which had been stored in the air raid shelter at Husterhouse School during the war have been plundered during the arrival of the American troops. 21st century main sites. Dynamicum of Science Museum. Collected works of Hugo Ball. Picture gallery of the painter Heinrich Böckel. Museum of Shoes. Silhouettes from Elizabeth Emler. Siegfriedlein Museum. Eric Derm. Incorporations. 1969, Erlenbrunn, Fairbach, Hensberg, Niedersimten, Queensland. 1972, Gersbach, Winsberg. Evolution of population, politics. Town Council as at August 2014, CDU 40.7%, 18 seats, SPD 28.0%, 12 seats, FWB 10.4%, 5 seats, Wahida 4.6%, 2 seats, Free Democratic Party of Germany 4.0%, 2 seats, Die Linke 5.0%, 2 seats, The Greens 4.6%, 2 seats. National Democratic Party of Germany 2.0%, 1 seat. Twin Towns. Posse, France. Culture. Events: the Landkreis every second weekend in April. Open-air highlights at the parade ground. Schlagerflicker Fest, a parade of uniformed musicians, every first weekend in August. Parade Ground Festival, every second weekend in September. Euro Classic Festival. Grenadier Markt in autumn. November Markt, last weekend of October, first weekend of November. Christmas Market in the Advent. Music Choir of Oratory Pirmasens. Chantors House of Pirmasens. Theatre performances at the Festival Hall. Sport. Companies. ZWAANS GmbH, import-export of tannery machines. Orthopedic branch. ErgoFit, manufacturer of cardiology equipment. Kennel-Amp Schmenger Shoe Fabric, manufacturer of shoes. Koch Maschinenbau GmbH, engineering. Peter Kaiser GmbH, Germany's oldest shoe factory. Parken-Amp Belheimer AG Brewery. Profine GmbH, Kommerling, manufacturer of synthetic material, major company. PSB GmbH, Simpertel Telemarketing GmbH. WAFO GmbH, specialist in the abrasion technique. WAWI Euro GmbH, chocolate factory. Pirmasens Zeitung, local newspaper. Die Rhine-Pfalz, local newspaper. KD Schaltanlagenbau, CONVAR Deutschland GmbH, provides data recovery of hard drives within difficult setups. Footwear Concept and Design GmbH, shoe design, outsole design, mold manufacture and rapid prototyping. Education. Fachhochschule Kaiserslautern, Campus Pirmasens, located in Pirmasens. Deutsche Schuhfachschule. Notable people: Christoph Dorsch, politician; Betty Amin, actor; Arthur Holtermann, politician; Albert Meyer, German economist; Fritz Volkmar, politician, trade unionist; Eric Durm, German football player.